Another call, another phone call right when I'm going to start. They don't call until I start this. That's why I know, this this is a lie from a lie from the devil. And he must not want this to go through, whatever it is, because it's uncanny today. Every time I try to do something, whether it's outside, inside, whatever, something would come up. And I just have to close it down again. Well, let me try this one more time. What I want to do is sort of kind of go over just a few things that made my heart feel glad today. As I said, I was pretty busy. Our internet had went out, so we were trying all day to get help from our internet carrier. And they finally figured out what it was, because they kept dropping every single time they would get a repairman up here. It would say, "Oh, it should be fixed," and it would go good until around 11:40 midnight. Click, it would go right off. And so I said, this is ridiculous. You got to find out what's going on. So they had to go into the attic. Anyway, hopefully they found it. I don't have trust in anybody but God. So essentially, if it's not God doing it, then I have no idea what's going to happen. But we'll see. We'll see. The other thing is that essentially I had to take my wife to, it wasn't dialysis, but to take her to podiatry to make sure that her feet, because she has diabetes, that her feet weren't having sores and lesions, which could be very dangerous for her. So far so good. Her feet checked out. And what I'm going to talk about right now is really based upon her, because the thing is, for myself, I really don't care anymore. I'm not saying care, but I don't mind anymore the things that happen to me. To me, it's the result of maybe overuse of some things and old age and other things, and maybe I haven't taken care of myself the way that I should, and that's my fault. But I know I have to understand that I must get better. But the key here is I have to get better for my wife to have a chance to get better. Because essentially, if I can't take care of myself, I can't take care of her. And if I can't take care of her, I can't afford to have someone here 24/7. So I have to be able to heal up. That being said, and she may have thought I was asleep at the time because I was tired. I had spent a good part of the evening, the night yesterday, dealing with the internet and so on. So by the time the caregiver for today came by, I was wiped out. I was tired. Lord knows I was real tired. And so the caregiver, well, we know her pretty well now, and she's really very good. When she came, I just went back to sleep because I was just tired. But I could hear. You know how you're sleeping, but you're not really asleep. So you can hear what's going on. And so I heard the caregiver start repeating words to Sister Heyman. And Sister Heyman would repeat the words back. I said, "Oh, okay. That sounds good." And she was very clear. The caregiver would say a word. Caregiver would say, "Okay, say it with me." Not say but we repeat it. And she would do it. And I'm sleepy, but I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling there's rejoicing there, because the only thing that she's been able to say really is yes. And depending upon how she says yes, it could be she's happy, it could be she's frustrated, it could mean that she's hurting, depending upon the way she says it. And I joke around a little bit because I am a Marvel fan, and I've seen many of the movies. And of course, if you know where I'm going, you can start laughing a little bit too. In the movie Guardians of the Galaxy, there's like three movies of that ilk, and they appear in other Marvel movies as well. Well, anyway, there's this tree man called Groot, and is whatever the tree man says, whatever Groot says, all he says is three words: "I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot." The only time that he actually says more than that is at the very end of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Whereas the assumption is that it's not that he's not saying I am Groot, is that everyone is understanding what he says when he says I am Groot. So it sounds like he's saying something different. Well, that's Sister Heyman. It took a while to get used to it. But the idea was essentially, if she says yes, and some things she's sincerely saying yes. Sometimes she's saying yes when she means no. Like if she's glaring at you and she say yes, and say, oh, okay, it's no. Or she would say yes, and then she says a series of them, and they gradually getting louder and louder. It means she's in distress, and I better have to see what's going on with her. But essentially that's would be how she would communicate. Now, of course, she would nod her head yes or no, and that would be a much more clearer way of she being able to get her point across. So a few times she would say some things that would be surprising, but other than that, it just would pass on. Well, this Friday, she actually said her name. They asked her name, and she said Marcel. So that was one thing. And I think I talked about this earlier in another session. But today, as I was saying, the caregiver was saying like short phrases, 2-3 word phrases. And she would repeat. And I said, oh, this is going well. I like this. That she's actually, that her brain is at least trained on getting the words correct as said by the caregiver. Then the caregiver said, and I knew it was a dig at me because I was asleep. And she was saying, like something like, get up, I'm hungry. and she said, and the caregiver got me up, said, okay, I understand. What does Mrs. Heyman want to say? And she said, get up, I'm hungry. Which I knew, yeah, she was hungry. I knew she was hungry. And so I went and got her something to eat. But the thing is, you become very happy at things like that. It may not always be the big things. It may not always be the things that people oh, she's walking. Oh, she's moving her right arm and all that. That's great. And I still believe God can do miracles, but just in case, I'm prepared to take care of Sister Heyman for the rest of my life, and it's okay. I just want to make sure that she's okay. But the key here is that essentially the small things that many people miss are the things I now take great pleasure in. Those are the things that make me keep going. It says, yes, there's someone in there that actually wants to keep fighting, wants to keep going on. They haven't given up. And that in itself to me is something it does my heart glad to know that she is, how can I put this? That she is, that she's responding. And I already knew that she can understand everything everybody says. So it's not like they can talk in front of her and she doesn't understand. She knows exactly what's going on. Especially if you say her name, she will be listening to you. Now, she may not be able to communicate it back, but she knows exactly what you're saying. And then again, when my nephew came over, he hadn't come over in quite some time. And usually if she knows someone, she'll break out into this big smile because she's happy to see him. And as when my nephew came over, my nephew Michael came over, she had this big smile on. And he talked to her a little bit. And it was good. It was good. And sometimes we would think the things that we try to accomplish, we think is so great. And God is saying, you're just taking baby steps. But he's happy for the baby steps. Because at least you took a step. You didn't have to take that step. You didn't have to refuse that one thing this one time. Whereas before, you would have fallen right into it. But one time, that's a big step. Many people talk to me and say, well, Elder Heyman, I'm just not doing good. And I wish I can do this, and I wish I can do that. And sometimes I really feel for them because I know that they have grown more than what they thought they did. But Satan has them doubting themselves and taking things that other people and comparing themselves to others. Well, I should be doing this and that and the other, but yet I'm still doing this. And I tell them two things. Number one, don't compare yourself to anyone else. You're an individual. God loves you for you. And he'll take you in the time which you're equipped to do. And it's okay. You don't have to go as fast as the other brother. Maybe the other brother's going fast, is going too fast, and that brother crashes. It sets him all the way back. You're steadily going along, steadily going along, steadily going along, steadily going along, knowing that it's a long race and that the Lord doesn't measure you just by what you do today versus what you did yesterday. But sometimes he looks at how were you a year ago? How were you 5 years ago? How were you 10 years ago? And so on. And so it's the small things that end up building up to where you see a marked improvement. And you rejoice in God. And God rejoices in you that you made that step. It may seem tiny to you, but it's one thing that you didn't do before, or one thing that you may have done earlier, but you refused to do this time because your mind was on Christ, even if it's only for a few moments. But you learn that you can do it, that you can refuse. You learn that you don't have to go that way, or that you can accept strength from others. It's the small things. And I'm looking at my wife, and my thing is, I'm accepting the small things because they will add up at some time. I believe she will be able to talk and have a pretty decent conversation. I believe that at length she may end up trying to walk a few steps. She's already, when I get her and transfer from the wheelchair to the car, she knows how to pivot on one leg and then bring her other foot around so that I can sit her in the chair. That's one thing she didn't do before, but she's doing it all the time now. It's like it's ingrained in her. She knows how to do it. If I put her in the wheelchair incorrectly, I tell her, I got to put you in right, so I need you to stand up. And I use my legs now. I find out I'm using my legs so much more now instead of my back and my neck. In fact, I had to do it today. And if I used my back and my neck, I probably would have been real messed up. But I just used my legs. And she was able to get up. And she's doing a lot of the work herself. she is doing a lot of the work herself. She's not a complete invalid. She can move some things. She eats on her own. I bought her a filet of fish sandwich from McDonald's and some fries. Maybe she really shouldn't be eating that, but it was just lunch. And I had to help the repairman with what was going on with our cable, or with our, not cable, but our Wi-Fi. Then when I get back to the room, she has eaten every single last bit of both the sandwich and the fries. I said, wow. And I wanted to do that because I want her to stay healthy. I remember when she wouldn't eat a thing. And she went down to maybe 90 pounds. And that frightened me. So whenever she can eat, I'm feeling good about it. So you learn how to be happy for the things that you do see. You don't always expect the huge thing, the humongous thing, the thing that really wows a lot of people. And the same thing about my neck. My neck is painful, but I do a step at a time. I will put the neck brace back on once I finish with this. So I'm not going to put myself in danger, but I want to test my muscles. I want to see if they can be steady. I don't want to have them to have atrophied while I've had this brace on. I know that the muscles are still mending because they've been cut. Certain cases, they've been cut to get to the spine, and then to put brackets that could hold the spinal cord. This is the same thing they're going to be doing to my back later on. So I'm using this as a, what do you call it? This is a trial run. But if God can do it for the neck, he can definitely do it for the back. And I'm not worried. The only thing I'm concerned about is essentially making sure that my baby has someone that can take care of her. But I'll worry about that when the time comes. And I'll also be better prepared because now I know what I need to do. So, in any case, I want to say that I love you all. I want you to take care of yourselves. I want you to not sweat the small things. And Sister Brown, I see you. God bless you. Thank you for coming on. And I'll probably do that more and more, that if you make comments while I'm speaking, eventually I'll come to you. But I thank you for even considering listening to a poor old man like me. But the Lord has everything under control. Remember that. And don't sweat the small stuff. In fact, rejoice in the small stuff. That will keep you each day. Love you all. Take care. God bless you.